I'm going to talk about today something a little different about you are the funnel. You are the funnel. And what does that mean for every aspect of your life? What you do, that funnel is going to open to what you bring into it. And people don't realize what that means, and we're going to talk about it. But before we jump into that, I've sold 6 companies now for a few $100 million in 4 different verticals: in technology, in digital marketing, painting, HVAC, and roofing. Now, the funny thing is, last night I was talking. How many of you guys here, let's do this real fast. How many here are doing over $50 million a year annual revenue? How many are doing over $25 million? Over $10 million? Over $5 million? All right, so how many of you have been in roofing or home services for over 10 years? Over 5 years? Under 3 years? Good. I'm going to do $100 million in roofing this year, all retail, no residential. And someone tell me, besides Jason, who I was talking to last night while I was eating dinner, how long have I been in the roofing space? How many years? 2 years and about 8-9 months. So you must follow me on social media, I'm assuming. Nope, just a guess. All right, so that's a true stat. I have not been in roofing very long. I've not been in home services very long, and I'm going to tell you my story. And I don't tell you this to impress you, but to impress upon you how easy it is to build your business and scale it if you just do the right things. And you're going to sit there and say, that's BS, Lance, that's BS. Well, the reason I got a picture of my family up here is the man that said about God, whoever said that, I could appreciate that because he's my guiding light, and my whole world evolves around my faith and my family, right? And when you have faith and family, they both start with F for a reason. And I don't care what your God is. I don't care what your family is. I don't care if your family's your 2 dogs at home. I don't care if your faith is the damn whatever you want to call it, right? But they will guide you to do the right things every morning and guide you to be a better person. Now, I'm going to tell you a true story why you are the funnel. I told my son LJ right here to the left, I said, you'll never have social media till you're out of high school because social media sucks. Who here hates social media? Be honest. So do I. I got almost 100,000 Instagram followers, but I hate it. But I'm going to tell you why you got to use it. So my son says to me, we're starting a business this summer. And we're coming through the process of starting a business together. And he says, Dad, all my friends follow you at school, which they do. Teachers do. And he said, you use social media for your brand, but my one friend said, you don't have Snapchat. It's a picture of you and Mom. I said, Snapchat? He goes, yeah, Snapchat, Dad. I said, the thing you send naked pictures on, son? He goes, no, Dad, that's not what it's for. I said, the hell it's not to a 52-year-old man. Something that disappears probably isn't good, right? So he goes, but Dad, that's a whole audience. So the first thing I did, I put in the chat GPT, how big is the audience of Snapchat? Put it in there. Woo! My son is a great athlete, very popular in his school. I said, he is right. He goes, I'm going to use my Snapchat audience to help us with our business. How do you say no to that kid? He understood at that time he was the funnel to get what he wanted. He wanted social media. He wanted Snapchat. He knew we were starting a business this summer. He came to me and sold me on it. And that's what we're going to talk about, right? How we scale businesses and sell them. Who here wants, I know, Tim, you want to sell your business eventually, right? As you grow it, eventually one day, right? You're trying to scale it, right? Who here is trying to scale their business right now? Who here, if you had a check from someone tomorrow for $30 million, would your life just be a little bit easier? Be honest, just a little bit easier financially, $30 million. Who here has $30 million cash just sitting in the bank? Good. Well, I want the rest of you that didn't raise your hand to get up and get the hell out because you wasted your time coming to Ryan's conference. Everyone should be raising your hand if you had $30 million and make your life a little easier, right? So we're going to talk about that. I sold all these companies to private equity firms. Now, I want to tell you something. Who here in home services actually knows the trade they're in? Be honest, actually understands what they do. Is that the majority of you? Who here has never did any work of the trade they're in? Meaning if you're in roofing, you never sold a roof, never been on a roof, never touched a shingle. If you're in painting, you never touched a paintbrush. Anyone? Okay, you. Great. So me and you have a lot in common. I've never sold a roof. I've never been on a roof. I've never did HVAC. I never sold them. But yet I'm able to keep growing these companies and selling them. And I'm going to tell you how and why. Now, LB Capital, right here, our annual revenue is already over $100 million again this year. And people say, Lance, how do you keep taking these companies and growing them? And here's a true story. You guys got to hear a good friend of mine, Tommy Mello, speak. And I was just talking to Ryan, right? And Ryan said to me, about his coaching group, and he said, Lance, we're talking about it. And I said, Ryan, every single person should be in a coaching group of some sort or some type, because I'm in one, just so you know. I'm going to tell you a true story why. About 5 years ago, if you noticed last night, I didn't go to dinner. And it wasn't to be rude to anyone. I was here, I was working with Jacob. I am not a very big network person. It's one of my biggest downfalls. I don't feel comfortable, believe it or not, walking into a room with 100 people and just starting to talk. It's just not who I am. I've never been that guy. But I'm very nice. I think, Tim, you'd admit, if you walk up to me and you talk to me, Jason, if you walk up, I'm the first one to say, hey, sit down, have a drink. But you'll never see me walk up to someone. Just been that way my whole life. And I'm like, how the hell could that be? So Tommy Mello, I get introduced to about 5 years ago. Me and Tommy instantly clicked, right? We instantly clicked. Tommy said, Lance comes to my house, spends 3 days with me. Tommy didn't know my story. My wife tells him I was born into an orphanage, group home, foster care system, and I was in the system my whole life. Tommy's like, Lance, I didn't know this about you. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, most people don't. He's like, all I ever heard people say you were the vice president of AT&T over and over again. And I was like, I was, for the whole country. Tommy says, I want you to be the keynote speaker at Vertical Track. I'm like, Tommy, I'm not going to really be the keynote speaker. It's just that my wife's like, yes, you are. So I go, I'm sitting there in Phoenix. Tommy's introducing me as I just get done throwing up because, I'm not like this big public speaker because I'm not a rah-rah guy. I'm not like, yeah, everything I do is positive in my life because I believe being positive is important, but I'm not like going to be the cheerleader, be like, give your effort, right? Because I believe everyone gives their effort, right, to what they think effort should be. So I hear Travis Riggy speak after I speak, right? Travis talks about selling his company. And I'm like, wait, my company's that size. He walked with $30 million almost. I literally walked up to Travis. One of the first few times I ever did, I said, Travis, can I ask you how you sold your company? Can you walk me through the process? He said, sure, meet me at the bar in a half hour. Travis Riggy, does anyone here know Travis Riggy? Travis Riggy is a guy you automatically hate, yes or no, Dr. J. Like, he's good. If you don't use Dr. J, by the way, he just helped me lose 30 pounds. Let's give it up to Dr. J. I appreciate that, my man. Thank you. The guy has to work on his sales tactics, but you know what? The best doctor I've ever met. Great at what he does. That's just me busting your chops, Doc. But so Travis Riggy, good-looking, built, the guy that you do not want your wife to meet. Really, come on, dude. You got to be kidding me, man. Like, Jesus, man, right? So Travis winds up being like this. And I hated Travis when I first met him. The guy just sold his company for $30 million, built, good-looking, and charismatic. Like, no one in the room really likes Ryan. We don't like Ryan. Well, he's just successful, so we're here, right? So, I'm joking, Ryan. Everyone likes you, but, when you're the best guy in the room, no one likes you. But here you go, right? So Travis gives me 3.5 hours of his time. 3.5 hours of his time at that bar. Didn't ask me for anything. I turned around and I sold Dilling 30 days later to Apex. And it changed my life. And Jason, I think I was telling you a story last night. Vertical Track changed my life. I didn't want to be the keynote speaker. Tommy Mello made me. I came here. I immediately turned around and joined a coaching group because I knew I needed access to the right people. And this isn't to plug Ryan's coaching group because there's 100 coaching groups out there. You got to find the right one for you, and I think Ryan would tell you that. But I said this to my son one day. I said, son, because he said, Dad, I gave my effort. And I said, son, I'm always going to be proud of you when you give your effort. But what you don't understand Every day people are giving their effort and they have no clue to what direction they're going in. And he's like, what? I'm like, see, son, the reason why I bring the best coaches in around the world to train you is because I want you always to know the right direction to go. And I do. For wrestling, I bring my best coaches in for my sons. I want them to know the right direction to go. And it changed my life. And that's how I keep growing these companies. Because I know what direction I'm going, how to get there, and what to do. So this is a philosophy I use for every business I own, and it's the same. And every partner I have, I tell them this. If you want to be successful, it's called the 3 S's. In anything you do. When I hired Dr. J, how was our relationship the first 2 weeks? Be honest. He suffered, I suffered, right? Because I'm doing something, I wanted the end result, but it sucked going through the process. So I was suffering at first, right? And so you're going to suffer. Then you're going to sacrifice things. You're going to sacrifice time. Ryan spends a week away from his family. I spend time away from my family at 24-hour periods. You guys, who here truly wants to be away from their kids right now? Look at that. Tim does. There you go. I like that. But most people don't want, right there. He's right there. So you're going to sacrifice to get what you want. And then success happens. The majority of people aren't willing to do this. When I sit there and I say to people what the partnership looks like or what anything looks like in life, and I say, this is what your money's going to be for the first year or two, do you know how many people, 95% of the people say, I can't go backwards. Well, if you're not willing to go backwards, how do you go forward? If you're not willing to go backwards, how do you go forward? And I use this quote all the time. It's one of the best quotes I've ever seen. And I think about it all the time. And there's 2 of them. I asked God for patience, and he brought me storms. And if God really wanted David to have a crown, he could have just handed him the crown, couldn't he? But instead, God brought him Goliath. And in business, the real truth of the matter is I'm not this rah-rah guy. Business is getting kicked in the mouth every single day, getting punched in the gut every single day. How much stress can you handle? How much bullshit can you handle? Because let's be honest, every day we wake up with, oh, it's going to be a great day. We're going to do all these things. And then it goes sideways 20 different ways with 20 different problems. How much stress can we handle? Right? And that's really has to be your mindset. And this is the thing we're going to talk about. Marketing, sales, and recruiting today. You are the funnel. Jason, you said you followed me on social media. You walked up to me last night, and people walk up to me like, it's funny because as your social media grows, your presence grow. And the reason why I don't go out, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not in recovery from drinking. I have no problem with that. I just don't drink much. I just don't go out without my wife. And I made that pledge when I stopped being an idiot about 10 years ago. So people were like, what do you mean you can't go out with your wife? I can go without my wife. My wife doesn't care. My wife trusts me. I prefer not to be in those environments, right? So it's just me. I don't want to be in those environments. And just because you can say no to the devil doesn't mean you should be drinking with the devil. And people don't understand that. There's a big difference. Just because you can say no to the devil today does not mean you should be drinking with the devil. And your reputation is going to be what people buy when you're hiring employees, when you're hiring leaders, and you are the funnel. And I asked the guy yesterday, and I said, why would I come work for you? Because he said, how do you keep attracting A players, Lance? He said, well, how? He goes, your goddamn leadership team is so good in all your companies. He said, you seem to attract, I don't pay high salaries. A lot of it's built in equity. And he said, how do you attract A players? And I said, because this is the thing most people don't understand. Winners know losers, and losers know winners. And I promise you this, if you're a winner, a loser is going to love to work for you. Another winner is going to hold you to that standard of you constantly winning. And the minute you don't, they're going to leave. Because A players know their worth. A players know what they can do. Think about that. And the guy said to me nicely, he's like, well, I'm a really nice guy, and I pay well. That's why I should come work for him. Well, I said this, I could throw a quarter in any direction in Philadelphia and inside of 5 feet and probably find an idiot and a nice guy. So that's not one. And everyone has to pay well now, right? Who here has had to increase their payroll on what you pay the average employee over the last 5 years? Let's be honest. Drastically, right? So everybody pays well, right? So you got to understand you are the funnel, and we're going to talk about that, right? So content, your brand. How many of you truly post for your own personal brand 3 times a day? 2 of you out of a few hundred. Guys, this is free to post content, right? Every one of you should be posting here. Now, how many of you feel uncomfortable posting content? Be honest. Guess who else feels uncomfortable posting content? Me, Jacob. Don't I hate it? But I have to do it to get what I want. I'm not like, people are like, man, you love social media. You love the stories, Lance. You love. No, I don't. I don't even post, unless you see my family in it. Jacob, do I post it? Unless you see my family in it, I don't post it. But what it's done for my brand and my businesses, all my leaders, A players know A players, right? So if I'm not willing to do it, why would my A players do it? If I'm not willing to do it, why would my A players do it? Build your brand. Build your business brand. Your personal brand is going to be bigger than your business brand, believe it or not, at first, to scale your company. Your personal brand. People want to follow winners. People want to follow winners. And if you don't believe that, you might as well get out of business right now. It's the biggest thing I can tell you, right? So your brand, you got to constantly posting for your company. 3-4 times a day, 3-4 times a day. This literally takes you no time. You can use tools like Hootsuite and Sprout, and they're like $10 a month. There's no excuse for it. It's a beer. It's a soda, right? Do it. SEO and PPC. Everybody loves to say, who here thinks SEO is dead? Anyone? So Google makes 90% of all their money off of Google AdWords, just so everyone understands that. Off of Google AdWords, off of their marketing. It's about 93%, right? But they know that they need to have the organic side to it so people trust it. The reason why people, who here trusts Fox, CNN, and MSNBC? Who here trusts those sources? Someone raise your hand. Someone's out there saying, I believe MSNBC, I believe CNN. No, they are media companies. The newspapers are media companies. Google keeps the organic piece of their search engine so no one understands they are no more than a media company. So that organic is never going away. 75% of all search still goes to organic. It still has a 4 times. Who here thinks pay-per-click is way too high of an investment? Guys, come on. I have people tell me I used to own a digital agency. You guys do know I owned one of the largest digital agencies in the country, and all I hear is pay-per-click is way too high. I don't know if it works. Now all of a sudden we got 100 believers. Who's your digital marketing company, people? Come on. Everyone feels that way, but it works if you do it correctly. And SEO is not going anywhere, so you have to do it. You should be in Google Maps. Who here is doing Google LSAs? Who here is not doing Google LSAs? Every one of these have to do it immediately. It's going to be your cheapest lead. It's going to be your highest converting lead. Get into the LSA program immediately, right? Now, who here has tried Angie's and Home Advisors and says it sucks? All right, everybody on the count of 3, give me an Angie sucks. 1, 2, 3, come on. And you're full of shit. I'm going to tell you why. All my companies grow because of Angie's. Lead aggregators are our #1 source. Guess who sucks? You do. Because your CSRs aren't good at outbounding. You don't have the technology in place to get in touch with the leads. I will show you my service titan, right? My marketing pro that will show you in all my organizations, over 50% of our revenue comes from Angie's and Home Advisors. And I'm just a dumb old guy that's never been in home services. I want you to think about that. We go in with preview. Do you know when I got into this space, how many people would tell me Angie's and home advisors suck, Angie? And I said, I'm going in with a blind slate, and I'm just going to follow the data. And all I do is use the data. They work. The aggregators work. Social media. This is the thing that I don't understand, why people aren't on social media. How many of you have your own personal Facebook page or Instagram page right now? Right? How many of you, no, I want to ask this question, no, it's off the cuff. How many of you guys have Snapchat? You dirty dogs. You dirty dogs. Put your hands down. Never raise those hands again to that question in public. I mean, Jesus, Lord, Snapchat. That one amazes me that my son asked for it, but he got it. So my point being is, social media is the easiest thing to use, guys. It's free. It builds a brand. And this is why most people stop doing social media. Can anyone tell me why most? Now, you got to remember, guys, I own a digital agency for 15 years, thousands of clients. I've been in rooms. I taught at Facebook. I've taught at Google. Can anyone tell me the number one reason why people stop posting to social media? Not privacy. Listen, if you're on Facebook, you have no privacy. If you got a cell phone, you guys, you have no privacy. Have you guys ever had a conversation about something, all of a sudden they're showing you ads for it? You're like, you got no privacy. Someone tell me why. Good. They're not getting the attention. We live in such a damn instant gratification world. You got Airbnb, you got Grindr, Tinder, Bumble, you got, I mean, think about this. You get food delivered to your house now. Like, we live in the instant gratification world, right? But this is the thing. People would be like, oh, I only got 5 likes. I only got 2 comments. I only got 10 likes. I only got this, right? Nobody goes and looks at the insights that 1,000 people looked at their content. 1,000 people looked at your content for free. I don't give a shit how many likes I got. If you want to see the circus, go to the comment section of social media. Jacob, do I even look at and respond to the comments on my social media? Jacob does, Neri does. I don't even look at it. I could care less. I look at the data every single week of how many eyeballs are coming to my content. Is it more or growing or less? And what content are they looking at? And guess what? The number one thing that people engage with for Lance Bachmann and they spend on this. Anyone know the number one thing? If anyone follows me, you should be an instant standout. Someone tell me what it is you think. Anyone? My family. Who said that? My family. When I post my pictures of my wife and kids, everyone jumps into it. Weekly goals. You got to have weekly goals. How many of you right now could show me today your weekly goals written somewhere on a task management sheet saying, this is what our objective is this week? Only a few of you. You got to have weekly goals. And this is what it is. You got to have lifestyle. You got to have podcasts, sales, events. Just make up stuff and say, this is what I'm going to produce. And my team produces it. We post 4 times a day to all my brands every day. Just different things. Doesn't matter. I just want your eyeballs on it. Goals, our weekly marketing goals. Who here goes through marketing weekly? Guys, you should be going through your marketing weekly, and not about anything else except for pure. Who here is on Service Titan? Are you on Marketing Pro? Get on it immediately. It's going to give you the source of all your revenue. And I'm going to talk to you guys about Service Titan in a minute because that's another great product. But guys, you should have weekly marketing goals. You have to, because without leads, your salespeople are going to quit. Without sales, you don't have an organization. Everything comes down to leads. Our sales philosophy is real simple. We're fast. This is why Angie's works for us. This is why Home Advisors work for us. We train our CSRs nonstop on outbound. We have 15 contacts within inside of 24 hours of any lead that comes through. 15 contacts. How many of you can say you have 15 contacts within inside of 24 hours? And people are like, well, the customer is going to get upset. No, it's not. If someone was trying to deliver you a pizza on Friday night and they couldn't get through to you, but you ordered a damn pizza, would you be upset they called you 15 times? No. They called for your services. They emailed for your services. They expect you to want to get in touch with them. It's that simple, 15 times. How many of you offer 3 options on every single sales call at the time? You have to offer three options. If you're not offering at least 3 options, you're giving people an ultimatum. Remember that. If you're not giving people 3 options at least, you're giving people an ultimatum. And who wants to have an ultimatum? How many of you hand over an iPad at the time that you're in home and say, here, sign now, and let's move forward right now? How many of you? On the first call. Guys, it has to be more than that. Raise your hand if you do that. Come on, guys. There's no way. Guys, it's only about 10% of the room. This has to be a must. If you get the opportunity to sit with someone, could you imagine? I want you to understand this. You drive all the way to the pizza store to order a pizza, and you invested your time, and they asked you what kind of pizza you want, what you want to do, and they said, okay, no problem. We're going to email you over what that will cost in about an hour, 2 hours. How's that sound? What would you say? So now I want you to think about it from your perspective. You got up, you showered, you put deodorant on, you drove all the way out to the sales call, an hour each way, half hour each way, and then you're supposed to spend at least 90 minutes to 2 hours on every single call, right? And then you're going to say the most important piece when it comes times to the money exchange, I'm then going to send you an estimate? How is that a frictionless environment for your business? Probably not. So make sure you get on that. Always be training. You know, I heard someone, I don't know who it was up here, said there's a difference between coaching and training. And this is why I do love coaching groups. And I have no dog in the fight when I tell people this, why everyone should have a coaching group, right? Training is so you get your employees to be manufacturer workers almost. They understand what to do, what systems or processes, how to get things in. That's training, right? Coaching is how to get people to think outside the box, think of things differently, how to go in the right direction and not just give effort. Right here, who has this? Who has their yearly goals broken down to the daily and the average ticket? Every one of you should take a picture of this. Immediately, this should be up on your walls in every one of your buildings. This will let you know how you're pacing, what you're doing, and track it. And this is why I love Service Titan, because I'm going to show you something here. We have it broken down. This is all in Service Titan, but we made it a nice graph for you here. And people are like, Lance, you must get paid by Service Titan. And here's a hand of God. I wish Connor was here. I've never taken money from Service Titan. I flew out there for a meeting, and they sent me a $1,000 check. I guess it was for the airfare. I don't know why they gave it to me, to be honest with you. But whatever. It showed up my door. I would not be where I am today without Vertical Track and Service Titan because I'm not a home service person. I'm a technology person. So all I do is use these KPIs to build and scale businesses. When people come to me and start talking to me about their feelings, who here is a roofer? Now here we go. Let's get it started. Who wants to get it started real fast? What's better, GAF or Owens Corning right now? GAF, raise your hand. Come on, raise your hand. GAF, right? Owens Corning, raise your hand. I bet you your homeowners don't give a shit about either one because they don't know it. Know what they know? Your brand. Do you think your homeowner? Go. How many of you answer the phone here for the roofing companies? Have you guys answered the phone? How many times? Bet on you, my man with the poker chip. Get up and show everybody that poker chip. I love it. This guy has it down. I love this. How many times do you answer your phone and someone says, I want that TDZ shingle? Never. Stop, you're lying. No, what? Keep your poker chip. I don't want it no more. Stop, come on. How many times? You raised your hand for GAF here on the phone. You answered it, come on. You answered the phone. How many people have ever called you up and said, I want that GAF shingle? How many? Out of how many customers in your life? So less than 1%. And I think you just made up the 3 or 4 because I've been doing this for 3 years, a few $100 million in roofing, and we record every call. And guess how many people ever called up and said, I want that GAF shingle? 0. Yeah, but the best is this though. You go out and you go on an estimate and you ask what the person before pitched them, what kind of product, they don't even know. But they can tell you the name of the company that's been there. Guys, this is why I love Service Titan. Inbounds, outbounds, these are all the metrics you have to know. But you can see right here, we took this company right here already this year, and it's grown over 20% this year, months. In our first year in business, we did $24 million. First year in business, all retail, $24 million. First year. And that's why I believe in it so much, it works. Now, when we're hiring, and I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want to stay too long, Ryan. I know you said take a few extra minutes, but I don't want to stay too long. But what I do want to do is this. Who here thinks recruiting is tough? Right? It's probably the toughest it's ever been, I believe, too, right? Follow me on Instagram, everyone, and watch what I posted yesterday. A woman literally called me and emailed me and texted me 50 times at least to get through to me, right? And she got to my assistant. I don't know how she got my assistant's personal cell number. She got through to my assistant. I said, damn, if this girl is this relentless, put her on the calendar for 15 minutes. I'm like, I don't even care what she wants. I'm going to try and recruit her. Like, that was the whole purpose of my call. I didn't give a shit what she was selling, you know what I mean? So she gets in there and she starts selling me, hey, listen, they're willing to pay you $2,000 to $3,000 for 1 hour to interview you on the roofing space. I said, I don't want the money. I don't need the money. It's not worth the time. I don't need the $2,000 to $3,000. I'm not doing it. I said, what I do want is you to come work for me. She's like, what? I'm like, do you make 6 figures? She's like, not yet. I was like, I'll guarantee you your first year. I would have gave her an offer letter guaranteeing her 6 figures her first year, just by her pure relentlessness to get through me. How many of you, honestly, get people that come up to you and they say how good they are and how great they are and how talented they are? How many of you? Right? Know what I say to those people? Kick rocks. I want grit. I want people that have grit, determination. I want people that are going to suffer, that are going to keep going. So we actually installed something called the Culture Index test in all of our companies, and it's been life-changing. And I don't know, if you email me, we can send you the people that do it. I really don't know the people that did it. I got pitched on it by another company that was using it. I said, I want grit people. So they took me and they took my 15 best employees, and they made it all take the test. It took 5 minutes. And they knew our personalities. They knew I wouldn't walk into a room and just start talking to people. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, how do they know this? They're like, but once you get a microphone, you won't stop. No, but they really knew all these different things about all of us, right? And they took the characteristics and put them together. Our hiring success rate has been totally different because of this test. And we look for grit. You want people with grit. You know, train skills. You know, you have to train. If you don't, how many of you have a training classroom set up in your office right now? A true training room. If you don't, get a training room immediately. Because think about this. Why would I come work for you if you're not willing to train me? Why would I not work for you? Why would I want to come work for you if you're not going to make me better? Right? There's no way. And remember this. If you're not willing to invest in your employees, I will. Nah, somebody will. All joking aside. Somebody will invest in your employees because people understand they are the company, right? The other thing I say to people with this is you got to be willing to grow and spend money. You got to invest money. Stop using your business as a slush fund. Instead, spend money on recruiting. Instead of going out to dinner, spend money on recruiting. We offer bonuses. Listen, I pay referrals to all my employees for bringing people in, big money. When someone I think has a lot of talent, I'll give them a $10,000, $20,000 signing bonus. I'll make guarantees. I put so much money into recruiting, and this is where I'm different than everyone. I give equity to almost every one of my employees. Equity to almost every one of my employees. If you're a good employee, when we sell, you're going to get a piece of it. You're going to get to eat. Every time I sell a company, Jacob, you've been with me for about a year and a half now. Every time I've sold, have you gotten a bonus? Every single time. I don't have to give that bonus, but I give a bonus to everything. Because why should I live this great life and then you live a shitty life? Hell no. We all got to sit at the table and eat together. Right? When God sat people down and drank and ate with them, everyone drank and ate. He didn't say, hey, just me, right? We have to treat people the way we want to be treated, and you will have a loyalty if you treat people good when recruiting. You are in the recruiting business. A lot of you don't think you're in the recruiting business. I'm constantly recruiting. Go ask Trinity at the front desk here. I said, Trinity, I love your personality. I love the way you are. Here's my cell phone number. If you're ever looking for a job, call me. Ask her. She was so nice. She's like, here's your 2 bottles of water. Here's this. Is there anything I do for you, Mr. Bachmann? I was like, I could love her. I could see her as a CSR. It was a great experience checking into the Hilton here. That's what you're looking for constantly. Run Facebook ads, run referral contests. How many of you guys are running Facebook ads and Instagram ads for recruiting right now? This should be a no-brainer. 1 of every 3 touches to a cell phone is Facebook and Instagram. 1 of every 3 touches to a cell phone is Facebook or Instagram. You should be there. And you can't just make your ad about you and why. Oh, we offer 401k. Yeah, so does the local dentist, people. You know, someone said to me, oh, we pay $30 an hour. I swear to God. And I proved a point. I went to the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, and I got a Chick-fil-A, went back to the office where the guy was at, and I dropped the Chick-fil-A sandwich. He's like, I know where a Chick-fil-A from me. That's not what I wanted. I said, well, the guy that just gave it to you makes $30 an hour, and he looks pretty goddamn happy. He looks stress-free. How hard is it to put this chicken sandwich through the window? And does everyone get my point? $30 an hour isn't that much if you can go make it at Chick-fil-A. You better give a different reason for people. So what we do is we interview people's wives. How's working here make it better? How their children, how's working here make it better? Interviewing our employees about how we treat them, about the culture, and we make that video content. Now people are like, because how many people do you hear when they come interview, do you hear these same problems, right? My boss is a jerk, I don't get a raise, the company's ran like shit, et cetera, right? Well, what's the best way to recruit people? Have employees tell your story. How many of you guys are running Facebook ads right now with your employees telling the story for you? 1 person. Get it done, guys. Trust me. Hire great leaders. Only hire A players. You're going to get enough B and C players in your door. Hire A players, pay them extra. Train talent, culture index. I'm a true believer in that. Listen. I'm going to leave everybody with this as we keep. You did the first thing right by coming here and building and coming to something like this. And vertical track did change my life because I didn't want to jump on that plane. And now I've sold 6 companies for a few $100 million, and it was life-changing. Step 1 is coming to a place like this. Step 2 is not trying to do everything at one time. Because I saw a bunch of you taking notes. Everybody, here's a free playbook that you can have, and it literally gives you step-by-step how I build every one of my businesses. It's a free playbook, right? But I will tell you this. If you invest in yourself and around the right people, your business is going to grow because winners hang out with winners, and that's the truth. And I always say this, you show me a drunk, they hang out with drunks. You show me a man that cheats on his wife, he hangs out with people that cheats on his wife. You show me a drug addict, they hang out with drug addicts. And if you're not there yet by hanging out with them, you will be. You go change your circle and you hang out with winners and come to things like this and you join coaching groups and you get mentored the right way. And here's my cell phone to anyone that ever has a question. I will always give you advice for free. Here's my cell phone. I might not get right back to you right away, but I will get back to you. 215-796-4393. And you can feel free to reach out to me. I'll give you, and Tim, I think you will attest whenever you reach out to me, I get back to you, yes or no? So I do get back to people. I want to thank you guys for this morning. Have fun with the rest of the day here. God bless you and have faith, everyone. Thank you.
Let's go. Come on.